Hello my friends and welcome. Let's go straight to the Bakhmut area because Ukrainian forces are advancing towards Klishivka village. The fighting is ongoing for the very important heights in this area. So let's go to the timeline. For the recent update, our guys moved quite a lot. So the information that I told you yesterday has just been confirmed. So what is the next move of Ukrainian army? Probably we're gonna go between those hills to this valley. This is the small valley, and then towards Klishivka. Or maybe straight to the hill and then going down to that village. The village itself is located at the lower level compared to the altitude of this land. So this is just for you to understand. This is the Klishivka village over there. This is the valley that our forces might use to go into the village, and those are two of the hills out there. Again, there are some of the buildings on the hills, but the main thing that the village is on the lower ground. If our forces will go there, it will give them the freedom to act in this area because this is more or less flat terrain. They may use all of those roads. There is also the railroad, and they may go further to the Bakhmut city itself. But probably the better thing will be to cross Klishivka to move forward and to get access to Opetne. Opetne is over here, and from this place go to Bakhmut. But to get to Opetne, you also need to cross this some sort of the water obstacle. It looks like the trench actually, but indeed it is the river that goes from this water storage to the Bakhmut city itself, and it feeds all of those fields for agriculture. Now those fields are unusable for agriculture, as you understand. So Klishivka for sure will be liberated, and as I say to you, there are two ways actually after it to get to the Bakhmut city. This is the longer way with more obstacles, but in that case you secure the perimeter because Russia also may send reinforcements from Opetne, and here basically you take more territory. Also, there are the fights on the northeast part from the Bakhmut city. So here Ukraine advanced towards this water reservoir. Our forces went from this area close to Berhivka to the previous controlled territory because it was not really possible to secure the position over there. And now we advance towards Yahidne. Yahidne is also very important. It's like the Opetne on the south. As you may see, the Ukrainian armed forces are acting in the simultaneous way. So the main thing is to attack the enemy from both of the sides and try to encircle the city from the north and also from the south. Let's go to Kherson area because we have some sort of the dramatic news for the region. Russia used the aviation bombs against our forces but missed. So here is the video. I took it from the Russian affiliated channel, as you can see from this sign, unfortunately. But I may say that it is not the Photoshop, it's the screen from the video. The full video you will be able to see on my Telegram channel. You may find it in the video description just below. I use the Telegram to update more current and up-to-date information. So for the latest news, please check out my Telegram group. We have reached 200,000 subscribers over there, by the way. Thank you so much for your support on Telegram. Also, it's my alternative source if something goes wrong with this platform. So here's the explosion, but it happened, as you can see, not on Ukrainian positions, but at the Dnieper River itself, in the water. It means that this explosion didn't cause the dramatic circumstances for the nearby buildings they called dachi. Ukraine took this territory under control, plus the bridge itself. The bridge construction was also damaged because of the Russian ballistic missile Iskander recent attack over there, but our guys had no casualties because of that attack. I guess the same happened today because, as you can see, the Russian precise weapon is not really precise. What they probably used for that attack is the gliding aviation bomb. The construction is very simple, as you can see. So those are the wings of the bomb, and it may cover lots of the distance, much less compared to the American gliding bombs, but still it may fly for a long distance. Still, they're out of the good navigation tools. That is why, as you can see, this weaponry is not that precise as, for example, JDAM bombs. However, Russia has lots of the aviation bombs, and to convert them into the gliding bombs, it's very easy and cheap thing to do. Russia also published the photos of the downed Storm Shadow cruise missile. As you can see, definitely it is the Storm Shadow. It hit the ground and separated into different pieces. This is probably the warhead itself. Russia claimed that they've shot down this cruise missile, however, I don't see any kind of the shrapnel signs on the rocket itself. Probably it was just the malfunction of this particular unit. So I don't really think that Russia was able to shoot down the Storm Shadow cruise missile. And those are the American gliding bombs that we use on our MiG-29s, the GDAM extended range. It could be a little lighter compared to the Russian gliding bomb, but it flies for the longer distance and for sure it is more precise. As you can see, our soldiers wrote some letters of support towards the United States of America. Today, Russia lost the fastest military jet they have, the MiG-31. It crashed during the planned exercise over the far east coast of the Russian Federation. Until now, the search and rescue operation is still ongoing and there is no information about the pilots. The MiG-31 is famous of carrying the Kinzhal hypersonic missiles. So one less start platform for those rockets in that case. Actually, MiG-31K is the platform for hypersonic missiles, but MiG-31 could be converted, I think, into MiG-31K. The news number one for today is the situation around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. This afternoon, the Ukrainian media resources reported that Russia mined the top of the roofs of several buildings where the reactors are. They say that Russia wants to create some sort of the provocation, showing the holes in the buildings and saying that it was the Ukrainian drone attack. Almost at the same time, Russia started to publish the information that Ukraine is planning to attack the Zaporizhzhia power plant today. To be more particular, this night. President Zelensky said that the situation around the Zaporizhzhia power plant is critical. Ukraine continued to say about the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant case for a very long time, but there is no proper and firm response from the International Atomic Agency. On their official page, there's just the information about the power line change to supply the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant with energy. They do not say anything about the threat from the Russian army on the power plant. Ukraine started to publish the information of how to behave in case of the disaster in nuclear power plant. Yes, the situation could be very terrible, but from what I see, Ukraine hasn't announced the evacuation from the nearby villages or cities. Here we have the wind map of the region, so I hope you can see something. This is Crimea and this is Zaporizhzhia, so power plant is somewhere over here. This is the wind forecast for several days and we'll see how it goes. So mostly it blows towards the south, then it circles over here, goes here and more to the southwest towards Istanbul, I would say, not towards Russia, not towards the Kiev city. On 7th of June, it blows straight to the west, then goes downstairs to Turkey. There was also the information from some of the media resources that Russia started to move out their personnel from the nuclear power plant. Plus, they move out their checkpoints from Energodar city. But in reality, it's quite hard to confirm that information. You see that we have the hype around the power plant, so it's very hard to understand where is the truthful information is coming from. We have just this picture from Energodar and it's the portable laboratory to check the air analysis. I guess that the vehicles like that should be near to the nuclear power plant. I think it's normal. And Russia continued to publish the information that Ukraine plans the attack on 5th of July during the night time. They're planning the attacks, but it's total nonsense. Ukraine doesn't need to attack its own power plant. It will cause chaos in our country. Vitaly Kim, the mayor of Mykolaiv city, said that Russia is not withdrawing its troops from Energodar, so we shouldn't be worried about it. But then they blown up the Novakhovka dam. They also hadn't withdrawn their troops from the very dangerous areas. Something happened in the Russian-occupied Makiyivka. There is the Russian ammunition depot, and as you can see, there was the big kaboom. There's the Russian supply hub in Makiyivka. They continue to deliver the weaponry towards the Bakhmut area. Someone also smoked near to Moscow this morning. Kubinka airfield and Vnukovo airfield, as reported, received some sort of the kabooms. The Russian side says that their air defense worked quite fine against the Ukrainian drones, but they have to cancel lots of the flights from Vnukovo. By the way, I've flown to that airfield lots of the times. Till 2013, then there was no open aggression from the Russian Federation. This airfield is important for Russia because it's the base for the Russian government airline Rossiya. It operates not just for the simple people, but also it's the main airline of Putin. So then Putin flies or someone from the Russian elite, all of the other airplanes should be grounded or just fly in the holding patterns near to Vnukovo. I call it the extra fuel airport because you never know for how long you need to hold. Once I had to land in Voronezh because the airfield was closed for 2 hours because of the Russian leader. Alright, there are some queues in shops and malls of Zaporizhia city because people are afraid that Russia may launch the attack on the power plant. People start to get food and water, but I don't really see that the queue is very long. Just some of the people went at the evening time, more than usual for sure. Unfortunately, there are lots of the Western-made components that were found, for example, in Russian Kinjal rockets. Most of those components are chips, electronics, wires, and control systems. But it doesn't mean that the United States supplied the Russian military directly with those chips and electronics. It is the known fact that Russia takes the chips and electronics from washing machines and from refrigerators, and they may work on their rockets. It is much harder for our allies to control that sphere, mostly the civilian one, even though mostly our friends cut the supplies of this civilian equipment that may contain the chips. However, Russia may use some of the neutral countries and also China to re-export those very important products for their military. So the second army in the world, the superstate, is unable to produce their own rockets alone. This day, 1 year ago, the Ukrainian army officially left Lysychansk. Since that time, yes, Russian army moved forward. They gained Soledar, Bakhmut, Krasnaya Gora. In general, geographically, they moved by 35 kilometers per 1 year. The battle for Bakhmut was longer than the battle for Stalingrad, and as you can see, it isn't over. The Ukrainian army for the last months took 10 kilometers, so we may say that Ukrainian army moves much faster compared to the Russian army. And soon we're gonna liberate our territory fully. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there are some links available just in the video description below. You may support me on PayPal, Patreon, or on the sponsorship of my channel. Thank you so much for your awesome help and your awesome support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.